Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, Dead Damn Natasha, and welcome to Limers, where friends get together to talk, chit chat, chew, drink, have a ting, and just do what we do and really have conversations about the things that we love. But before we get started, before we jump in, I want you guys to remember to do something, right? So, thank you very much for showing up, but also click that like button, right? To let people know that you like what we're doing. Share it with your friends so that they know they could come up and, be a part of this. And let's do what we do. So let's go ahead and jump in with our very, very, very first guest. Our first segment here is let's talk about why we're here. So there was this thing going around on the interwebs with Michael B. Jordan, and I'm sure everyone has heard about it now, where Michael B. Jordan was coming out with a brand of rum called Juve. I mean, it's perfect, right? Because those of us from the Caribbean, we know Juve is a thing. Juve is a thing that you literally prepare for next to Pretty Mass. Juve is the one time you could be like, I don't care if you tall, short, fat, skinny, it doesn't matter, black, white, it doesn't matter. Juve, we all coming out for the same thing, for paint, powder, and rum. So it's perfect to have a rum by that name. But then, kind of got thrown off because Michael B. Jordan is not of Caribbean descent when you look at it. So there's this conversation that comes up where we're like, okay, well, we get your partner is Trini, but you're the face of it, and there's so many popular, Trini artists, Caribbean artists. You could have just pulled somebody from Jamaica. You could have pulled somebody from Barbados. There's so many islands you could have pulled someone from that have a name that you could have been co-faces with them. Nicki Minaj, right? You could have pulled that and said, hey, let's do this together. So this whole conversation about cultural appropriation comes up, and I am of American, I'm born here, right here in the US, but I am Trini to the bone. So don't think just because where I'm born, it's not where I'm from, it's where I'm at. Okay. So saying all of that to say, right, there is a feeling in the Caribbean. Some people loved it. Some people are like, yes, this is super great. Finally we have something that we put out there. And then other people are feeling a kind of way. Like, what do you mean in your trademark when you say Juve has no meaning? So of course, me being who I am, I said, I got to get my friends involved and we need to come on and just have a little conversation about what is Juve, right? What is Carnival and who we are in the Caribbean and how that relates. So I want to bring up my very first guest, someone who I actually met through the social space. And then we finally met face to face in Miami in 2019. Michael Curry Crusader Samuels is the CEO of Pure Vibes Radio. Michael, are you there? Hey, my friend, how are you?
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm here.
That's great. That's great. Tell people, the audience, a little bit about, who you are and what Pure Vibes Radio was all about.
Well, who I am, I'm just like you. I'm first generation American.
Mm-hmm.
My family's from Trinidad, and we've been living in the culture in the U.S. And Pure Vibes Radio is just about the purest vibes that we have every day. It represents Carnival, Juve, dancehall, everything. Everything about the Caribbean that is pure. Everything that we've created.
Yeah, definitely. I totally get that. So let me ask you this, because you were one of the first people that I tagged in a post when I saw the post come up. And thank you to West Indian Americans for, sharing that content on Instagram, because I follow you. This will be, shameless plug. Love you, sister. But I tagged you in my comment because I realized that there are literally a group of people in this country that I would consider um, vanguards of the culture, right? We are the
Right.
protectorate of the culture because we recognize that this is something more than just a thing that we love, right? So tell me this, what was it like for you when you first saw, you know, Juve come up, right? This whole thing behind it, and how did it, it's, there's a two-part question. So, and how did it make you feel about like the history that we all know Carnival to be? So talk a little bit about the history first, and then your feelings on that.
Okay, well, with the history now, knowing that the history is about emancipation
Hmm.
and Americans, from my experience living in America and being American here, a lot of Americans don't have their own, black Americans don't have their own emancipation. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
They
they just got
celebrate
June.
whatever.
Wait, hold on.
We,
We just got Juneteenth.
yeah, I mean, they just got Juneteenth,
Okay.
and a lot of people were satisfied, a lot of people weren't satisfied, and it was to the
Hmm.
point where people had celebrated Juneteenth a long time ago. So making it a federal holiday isn't enough for certain people because a certain
Right.
stronghold wants retribution, they want recognition. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So with the culture wise, it was exciting to see, but kind of disappointing to see Michael B. Jordan to be the face of it.
Hmm.
I would expected somebody like Marshall Montano or somebody, anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Bungie Garland, Kess, uh,
Well, anybody.
Nessa,
I mean, I wouldn't say
Nessa Preppy. That.
well somebody,
Right.
but preferably an elder. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it comes to the point where that Juve itself is our breakaway early morning. Let's get out of here and celebration. It's
So tell
break of dawn.
people, that's perfect. So tell people a little bit about how Juve came to be, right? Because here's what I know, right? Every year I go to Trinidad, like I've been going back to Trinidad since 2010, like consistently, before lockdown, all of that. And I've been going to the Camberley riot celebration. Now I had to go on Wikipedia and check some facts because it's people writing stuff in there, and I'm like, no, that's not correct. But anyway, Camberley riots, just so people know, were the riots that happened in Port of Spain, Trinidad, right? Where after the Africans were emancipated, right, they took to the streets to celebrate. There's this thing that we call in Trinidad flambeau, which is basically a flame that you it basically is the husk from the field, like the corn husk, sugarcane husk, that you light up, and you dance it in the street. So with that, you're dancing Camberley, but it's happening pre-dawn, right? There was a what they called a riot. I don't say it was a riot. I say it was a disagreement in the way we celebrate. Um, but it just so happens
Right.
that Trinidad also has a martial arts style of stick fighting that came from Africa. That
Correct.
one of the stick fighters unseated the governor at the time, and that's when the governor recognized, wait a minute, this is something that is really important to this group of people here on this island, and I think it makes sense that we keep it in existence. So Camboulay, which started actually um, August 1st after the harvest, got moved to carnival season in February, right? I'm saying that that is a part of the creation of Juve.
Correct.
Yes.
It is. It is.
So with that being said, now we have this. How does all of that fit into modern day Juve?
It doesn't. it,
No, God, it
it,
has to. It has to. Go
it,
ahead. Sir. Go ahead.
if you really look at it, the cultural aspect of Juve, it doesn't. The only thing that really fits in the cultural aspect of Juve now would be jab. That's about it,
Okay.
and that's where the recognition of a lot of Grenada is comes to pass because,
Mhm.
like I was saying to you came in a couple conversations because people like, oh, why is Trinidad the only one talking about Juve? Because other islands have a Juve too.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the argument now is where the creation of it, who is doing this, who and that, and honestly, we ourselves have marketed our culture so much that everybody's picking up on it.
Yes.
So the fact that when they see Michael B. Jordan be the face of the rum, most of them people are saying, hey, yeah, it's about time. And everybody else that's vexed is vexed because they didn't do it first. Honestly.
I get
They're
that.
vexed because they didn't do it first.
I get that. But I also have
now,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I also have the experience too that as a Trinidadian, as someone of the Caribbean, right? Yeah, I may be vexed that someone didn't do it first. But what got me was the definition and the trademark where it says Juve has no meaning. And like for someone who really wants to see the preservation of culture, saying that something that millions of people literally celebrate around the globe has no meaning, I thought that was a bit of a slight. Not intentionally. I'm not going to say it's intentionally. I think it was a bit of a slight from an educational point where even us in the Caribbean really don't know our history that deep. We know aspects. Right. We know a lot. But to say that there's there's like one resource I can go to that will give me like the history of the things we practice in culture, not just the history of our colonization. What's that?
Yeah, and that's one big topic about it that a lot of people don't talk about. Because, like I said, everybody want to come out and fet and do this and do that, but like, what are we getting from it? You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of new gen Caribbean people coming in now. You know what I'm saying? And everything different. Trinidad is different than how it was when we used to go there. So
yes,
the mindset is different. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you come in, you used to go to Trinidad back in the days, you hop in a maxi taxi and listen to some dub. Now it's Trinidad. You get what I'm saying? Everything different now. So
yes,
you kind of got to go with the flow. And the world has access now to market its own self. You get what I'm saying?
Very true.
Even though we have a carnival in Japan now, Norway, Sweden, Germany. You know what I'm saying? So,
everywhere.
So it's getting out there to the point where I was making a point where to say, if we can market ourselves like that, why don't we make a chain in the Caribbean financially and government-wise to actually keep the Caribbean to the Caribbean? China buying up land all in the Caribbean. They bought half of Jamaica already. They coming in Trinidad too.
This is true.
Coming in Trinidad just as fast as the Venezuelans are coming in.
But Trinidadians, but Chinese have always been in Trinidad.
Just like how Chinese been in Jamaica for a long time, and now they're taking over. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
And to the point where, like I was saying, make me give an example, right? Steel pan. The last musical invention of the 21st century.
Oh, you touch my heart.
That come from Trinidad, right? We oil drums to actually make music out of it. Because they took the way the actual sheepskin and goat skin drums from us, so we make it steel.
Right.
We had this for centuries. We go around the world, we actually show people how to make it, use it, tune it, and then they let a Japanese man come and take the pan, and now every time steel pan play, that Japanese man getting paid. So every time a steel pan come out, a steel pan make this Japanese man getting paid.
So now
there's a lot of
No, I said now that raises, a I wouldn't say another question, but that definitely raises eyebrows in terms of legacy, right? Um, in terms of the legacy of what cultures bring and represent. I had mentioned something on social media, and I meant it when I said it, about jumping the broom. That it's not all African Americans, and I'll make this disclaimer, not all African Americans actually celebrate jumping the broom, but there is a
Right.
group of African Americans that do, and for them that's something very sacred. It's something very personal because maybe there was a grandmother or grandfather, right, who could not legally wed, but they had this symbol that said, I belong to you and you belong to me. I cannot give you a ring per se, but here's what we can do in front of this community. We can come together, right, inside of this thing we call wedded bliss. And this is how I'm going to show that you are my woman and you are my man. We are going to jump this thing called the broom, and everyone knows that I am betrothed to you and you're betrothed to me. If someone now comes along and says that they're going to take this ceremony and trademark it, right, as I don't know, as an opening celebration for something, I believe that that is a level of cultural appropriation that people would not only raise up against, they would be extremely offended. And what I find a lot is that, in the Caribbean, we don't really get offended. We kind of take it like, that's a thing. So,
Yep.
how I think one of the things that I'd like to lead this conversation with is how do we shift that? Or can we shift it?
If the thing is, we have to be aware, educationally and financially about a lot of different things. We have to basically reteach our culture to ourselves. I think that would be a head start, because some people come in and be like, just like for example, dancehall. You get what I'm saying? Dancehall is a whole, not just a genre, it's a culture.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And then you have crop over. Like every island have its own different thing. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That can be marketed.
Right.
Even all now, like the biggest thing that's getting a price gouge is oxtail. Then would throw away oxtail before. Now everybody's selling oxtail for $25 a plate, $30 a plate.
Yep.
Oxtail is now a delicacy.
Yes. You
get what I'm saying?
Where it used to be a throwaway thing. Mm-hmm.
Right. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying? So a lot of things like that come into play. We need to really market it. I mean, Jamaica started off good with the marketing and stuff like that, but then again, it had to sell out a lot of things to
make that happen.
To maintain, I guess, a government. I don't know, but it's killing everybody financially.
This is
It
true.
is, and then people have to hungry when people don't have to hungry, and you know what I'm saying. That's why the financial aspect of it, and education, is very important. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Michael, thank you so much. Would you have time to stay on?
Oh yeah.
I got some more friends. I have some more friends that want to come in line.
Bring them on now.
All right, let me go. So, this conversation is way too big for just two people to have. Way too big. So I gotta bring in some friends that, they also have their own aspect and they also sharing something. So I want to bring on my girl, Charlotte Bennett. She is the president of the Chicago Caribbean Carnival Committee.
What up, Charlotte?
But I can't leave out my boy Sean G, the CEO of Fet Finder. So when you're looking for that Fet, that is the man you're going to.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on?
Yes, now we have a bus. Now we have a life.
This man driving this car. Where we going?
I'm going to another event right now. They're busy.
Yeah, you busy man in the streets, man. I thought I was busy.
your vibe?
I ain't driving. I'm being driven right now, bro.
Oh, you're being chauffeur.
Oh, you a chauffeur? You got chauffeur. All right.
He's a big thing. He's a big thing.
Right.
He's a
I need to live
thing.
that lifestyle.
Oh man.
I want that lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah, bro.
So thank you everyone for giving up of your time, to be here and like just jump in this conversation, because you each contribute, something different. You each contribute like something really powerful for the culture, right? So I just want to ask all of you, right? We got Michael's reaction to the announcement of Juve Rum. So, Charlotte or Sean, which one do you want to jump in first? What was your reaction when you saw it?
I'll take ladies first. Ladies first.
Thanks. I had a look of shock on my face, like, okay, which one of y'all did this? And then I was like, because I was just like, there's no way. I associate this, and I'm like, Michael B. Jordan, Juve. I'm like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. And there's so many things that I can say that he don't know. So
true facts.
So yeah, that was my response. I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sean.
So my reaction when I first heard it, I had a couple of reactions. I was surprised. One, like Charlotte said, like came from Michael B. Jordan. Like, what? Then I was like, I wonder if he knows the backlash he's about to get from this, because I don't think he knows how deeply rooted this word, the term, the activity, the what we do to this is
never experienced.
I don't think he knows what the level of it is, the magnitude. And then it was like, you know what? I think it got to be somebody behind him. It can't be him, bruh.
No. Of course not. No, and I totally get that. I know my reaction when I first heard it, I was like, I just sucked my teeth and went to my parents. I said, you see this? You see this? I said, wait, get that. Oh. And, I had to do a little more research and see that, it's a Trini? Oh, God.
Yeah. Been like, why?
Trini, why?
Like, you sold your soul. What did you do?
But even with that, so yes, he had the backlash, and big shout out to Nicki Minaj for, she has definitely consistently stepped up for the culture, saying, she could understand the attraction to it, but you need to take a step back. I appreciate that. And with that, he did take a step back. Right. So now there's a retraction. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the cat has already been let out the bag, because now someone else is trying to pick up the trademark. Right.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Hey, you want to go first, Charlotte? Sure, you got this. You got this, Char.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm going to take my drink on this one because I'm ready for this.
So my whole thing is, if someone else is going to be, and I have to use this word, foolish enough to use the word again to say trademark. If you are trademarking it, you're trademarking it for history, culture, and heritage. Mm-hmm. That is the only thing you would be wise enough to use it for. To use it to say, I want to make a clothing line. I want to make that holds way too much weight.
Yes.
To use that. It doesn't have a price tag. You cannot put price tags on things that have happened for us.
Yeah, you can't put a price tag on culture.
You can't. It makes no sense.
Thank you.
And if you said I'm gonna use it, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we're not buying it, because you should know better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So
Sean?
Yeah. So my initial thing, like when he retracted it, I was like, great, that's awesome. And it was like, you know what? I have a little bit more respect for him, but I knew that would affect his brand. He's not trying to get that backlash. He saw the backlash and was like, nah, I don't want that smoke. So
exactly.
I'm not going to
right, cool. I respect you for that. Shout out to Nicki Minaj for, doing what she did. And it was like, okay, cool, no problem. But for the person that's coming out with it afterwards, it makes me go back to the terminology that I use a lot, like when I present my brand. A lot of it is we like crabs in a barrel. We'll never want to see the next person succeed, but then you're not trying to see the culture succeed. You're too much about self and not thinking about the bigger picture of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then think about the big. If we are trying to own our culture, then we're not touching these words. We should know better.
Yeah.
You know, if our ancestors are turned over in their grave, like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
So
I agree. I mean,
crazy.
in that aspect of it, it's like I said, these things don't have. That's like I'm inviting a dear friend over, and my mom has the recipe. She's not giving you the recipe. She's gonna let you taste it. She's gonna let you say, "Okay, I know when you're gonna come over. You can have some," but she's not telling you the recipe. Who's gonna get the recipe? Me. Am I supposed to share that recipe? No.
But here's the thing too, like even with that, it's like that's like somebody taking the word juve and trying to claim it. That's like saying, "Hey,
yeah,
I'm gonna take the sky. The sky is mine." Wait,
it's like
when LeBron James tried to trademark Taco Tuesday. It's like, dude,
like, what are you doing?
I knew Taco Tuesday from college. And I didn't know Come on, dude. Like, you can't do that. You know,
Yeah,
I think what happens especially when we're living in this culture of branding, of claiming, of ownership, right? That people want to own something that would automatically have attraction, have a following, have something built into it, that you don't really have to do that kind of hard work. Look,
like
if you really look at it, when I'm done.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
A whole mess. But okay.
For example, when a particular, I'm not going to say the name of this particular soda brand because they have not paid me for product placement. So when this particular soda brand came out back in the early 1900s, and they used a particular what we call narcotic today,
Okay.
it was not illegal.
Right.
It was something that was literally distributed consistently, and they didn't make this beverage because of what they put in it. They made the beverage because they said, "Oh, it's an easier way to get it down. People like it more," right? And based on that, the company did the hard work to build the brand. They did the hard work to build the name, to trademark the name, to trademark their logo, to trademark their colors. Same thing with the jewelry company that has a particular color box, right? That everyone would love to have. You can't go out and say, "Yes, I want you to put my home in this particular blue." No, because that company will come after you because they were able to put that together. So I say that in the vein of with our culture, right? How do we now claim the ownership over that? Because Charlotte, you're the president of the Carnival Association in Chicago. But I know people in the Carnival Association in Miami. There's one in New York. There's in Atlanta. There's in Houston. There's in California, LA. I think there's one in San Francisco or San Diego coming. It's literally Dallas. If I haven't named you, it's not because I don't know you or I'm trying to dish you. It's just a lot. And I don't have no directory. Toronto, London.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. My uncle has a saying, thank you, Unc, wherever a Trini lay their head, carnival shall rise. This is just how that shows up.
Smart man.
So,
right.
We're both Leos, but that's another story. But how do we harness this thing called media, right? How do we harness the significant impact that media plays on what we do to have this be recognized as ours that we're sharing?
I have I'll do my spiel real quick. So my thing is, from a traditional standpoint and what we're doing now, and I harp on this a lot, if we're going to be one Caribbean, let's be one Caribbean. And I'm talking about not even, it starts from the little guy up until the big names. If we're going to be one Caribbean, just be one Caribbean. For example, the entrepreneurs is out there. And we'll go from the Private Ryans to everything. Don't get me wrong. He's trying. He's putting that out there. He's big enough. Use your voice to be like, okay, do the promotion. Do it like just not for your event. You're doing it for the culture. Everybody has to get behind you. And the little guys and the entrepreneurs that have their own businesses, like the ticket platforms, the carnival, the carnival associations from different states. That's your platform to, hey, let's do this. Like I have a friend in DC, Estat. He does something for Caribbean Heritage Month every year. He puts it on the news. He was on Fox 5. Every week he's on a different news channel trying to show that, hey, this is ours. And I'm not talking about as an ownership, but hey, come look. This is what we bring. Yeah, don't try to take it away from us, but this is what we bring to the culture. This is what we have. Come enjoy, but don't take it away. Because what I see happening in the future, if we go the route we're going, it is going to be taken away from us, and it's going to slip through our fingers because we're not generating that cultural wealth, that generational wealth to it. Who's gonna hold on to this after we're gone? After all of us are gone, who's gonna take that? Who's gonna carry the mantle and say, hey, this is ours? If one person tries to take Juve, there's gonna be a million other people trying to take Juve and everything else we got. So it starts with us. It starts with the young. Go ahead, man. You got it.
Nah. Listen, so I got a question for you, right? Seeing that we're in America doing Caribbean things, right? And we basically have to share space with Black Americans. Now, since Black Americans are also being culturally appropriated, don't you think we should team up with Black Americans to actually educate each other on cultural appropriation?
I got something. I got an answer.
Absolutely. Go ahead. She said, "This is my show."
No.
Let you answer that.
No, but I like what you're thinking. I like where you're going. So I went to school in the state of LA. It's not Lower Alabama. It is Louisiana, right? And everybody knows New Orleans. They love New Orleans and all of that. And when I went to Louisiana, my father used to come and visit me. We go hang out in New Orleans. And he always used to say, when we go to the French Quarter, he said, I like New Orleans. I said, Daddy, why you like New Orleans? He said, this reminds me of Port of Spain, old Port of Spain. I said, what you mean? He said, you see how the streets are? The signs, like how they do the names of the streets and the walls and the names on the street. He said, Port of Spain was like that. I said, really? He said, yeah. So, took my time and started doing some research. And then I found out that, of course, it would be like that. Not just because Louisiana is French and not just because Trinidad had French culture, but Louisiana was a port for slaves.
Yep.
Right?
It was.
So when we were brought over from the motherland, before the first slave ever hit this land, you went through the Caribbean. You were sifted, sorted, parceled out, determined where would you go. If you're a little bad mind, you're hitting Trinidad. You're doing all them southern places where nobody wants to go. That's where we're going. We don't want you in the cultural places. You're a little strong. We're gonna keep you in Jamaica. You have you got skills. We're gonna send you to Haiti. We'll send you other places where we have money coming in. And when people are talking about African American history, that little piece is missing, because I say it all the time. From Canada to the tip of South America is America.
All right.
That includes every island, north, east, south, west. If you're on this side of the world, you are American. So all of this history is ours. And I think when you talk about one Caribbean, we need to really start saying one America. right?
Diaspora.
Yeah, one diaspora. We are one
One
America.
diaspora.
We all came here. There's this book called "They Came Before Columbus,"
Mm-hmm.
right? Who was here before Columbus?
Us.
All right, then. Right? So we were here, but these are things that are missing from us, and I think it takes, like everyone is saying, it takes the education. It takes
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
really being open to
To
the
learning.
education, to learning from each other, to literally weaving this quilt back together that was ripped apart. Because if we get that piece, we have a chance.
Yes.
We really have a chance. But that's my answer.
I agree. I agree. And the reason why I agreed is because I have this conversation all the time. So it's a you have one group of people who have been exposed and the other group of people who have been brainwashed and to the point where they want to be made to forget. So if you can't piece those things together, and when you have people that live here in the US and then people that live in the Caribbean, and they get over and they say, you guys are so humble, your mannerisms are different, they're one and the same. We are just distorted and segregated so farly where we can't say, okay, well, now I have to teach them because they don't know. Well, you do have to teach them, but you have to educate them, and for people to have that connection to history, they have to want to do the work. See, sometimes we get so focused on where it is and say, okay, well, I only know this. I didn't learn this in school. It's far beyond what you learn in school. Like they say, if you don't, it's out here. If you don't research it, you will never know.
You have to educate yourself.
Yes. It's made to be hidden from you because we know, and that is the mindset. We know you won't go looking for it unless it's right in your face.
Yeah. Basically finding the easier path.
Yes.
Than taking the path that's going to require a little muscle.
Exactly.
True. But everybody wants the easy way.
Right. There's no
Everybody wants the easy way. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, we have to educate ourselves, but all these little old sayings, what, to each one teach one?
Yes.
Like let's stream that.
We have to be on that whole mentality, and that has to be everybody across the board, not just the people in the Caribbean, but the people here, for the simple fact that like I said, I have these conversations all the time, and people are like, oh, well, if you're here, you shouldn't get a respiration. I'm like, for what? Hold on. You know what? I was never a slave. I have ancestors that were slaves. And I said, if you trace the line, if I tell you my last name is Bennett, there are several other people that are Bennett. And guess what? They might not be, we're not related because we're not from the Caribbean. I don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. I'll have to sit up here and say, DNA me, please, because I need to find out if I'm related to this person. So, I said, somewhere, some form, you are related to this person, whether you be like, you've been told you got a twin.
Gotcha. So yeah. So can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can, Sean.
Thank you, because I know this is your show. So I don't want no smoke. Right. So let's talk about, for me, it's about just having us all on one page, in a sense. And I think we're losing that. We're so worried about ourselves that we're forgetting the bigger picture. Yes. In a sense, it's more about the dollar now. To me, I'm making this little money for this event, or I'm doing this for that. Whatever reason you got, we're not coming together. Every other ethnicity.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can do it in a sense. The Jews do it. White people do it, and not knocking any white person.
They do. They put it back in their community.
Got you. They put it back in their community, but for some reason, with Black people, Caribbean people, whatever the case, we can't do it.
And you know why? I'll tell you.
Please.
Tell us why.
Tell
The
us why.
reason for that is because we have to think about it. The history that we have had as being a person of brown race, whenever we build something and it's going so well, who comes in to knock all of our stuff down? They don't want us. If you have a little where you can get your whole community, a whole thing where you don't need assistance from Uncle Sam.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, well, you turning your lip up at me? You feel like you're uppity now. So now I don't need you. You don't need me.
Yeah.
And you went and got it for yourself. And so, but here we are, we're still struggling because we can't figure out, oh, wait, all the good workers live in this town. So now what I need to do is get rid of the good workers that live in this town and break that up. Because I can't have you out showing me you're doing better than me. You got your own bank, your school, your church, your this, your that. Everybody's putting the money back in the community, and y'all having a good old time.
Basically,
like that.
fear.
Yes,
It's a fear, right?
it's a fear, and
But
it's
that can't be the excuse. That can't be the excuse.
It isn't the excuse, but you have to look at
How about this?
set up.
How about we take it like this? Not an excuse. It is an underlying factor
Yeah,
that we haven't found a solution to,
right.
right? So
Correct.
with that being
Sorry.
said,
Mhm.
what is a solution that, I'd love for each one of you to answer this. What is a solution you think that we can come up with, that we can create and put into existence so that, that next generation of fetters and revelers, become the next vanguard. They become the next keepers of the legacy. They become the next storytellers. They become the next group that says, yes, I'm going to carry this mantle on. Because trust and believe you me, that was not my intention. My father used to play Pan with Casablanca, and he'd be like, come play Pan with Renegades. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll listen. Like, my uncle, he loved playing Mass. He's like, come play Mass. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll look. Right. and now I'm in a position like, oh no, you can't take the culture. Right. You can't do that. But I grew up in the stories of it. So I guess what I'm asking you guys is like, what do you see? And each one of you jump in wherever.
Yeah. So go ahead, ladies first. I like it. Go ahead.
Okay, so
What, Sean? Good.
my thought process on this is we have to start over. It has to be a clean slate. We have to work to bridge the gap within the community, whether you are African American, whether you're from Africa, wherever you are in the world. If you are this color, you really need to brown. We have to clean the slate and start over. We have to re-educate each other. We have to learn what the word community really means. We have community. If you have a community, you have a staple within that community. That staple within the community is supposed to back up everybody, whether it's a church, it's an alderman, it's the next type technology person, whatever. We have to be that olive branch to kind of join people in together. And it has to start from somewhere. For me, I decided to take on that role because I have majority of the connection to everybody. I bump into everybody. I have this conversation. I say, hey, you want to do the carnival? You want to come in? It can be a clothes vendor. It could be someone that's saying, okay, you know what? When are we doing a workshop to tell somebody about owning a house? When are we getting the next college student off? When are we having a pageant? What are we doing? Like it has to be where you pour into. You have to pour into your community in order to get the end result. There's no other way to it. We have to do that.
You know?
No. Conversation getting real hot.
I was like, wait a minute.
Right. He probably dropped. Like, where'd you go?
Yeah. So for me, I agree with you all on all, but I don't think we need to start over. I just think we need, as the kids would say, I need to learn you on some things.
Okay.
Because I don't think we need to start over. We had a good place because if we start over, that means we're taking away from the people that actually are doing something.
Well,
Because go ahead.
okay, let me interject in that. So not necessarily it's
I'm gonna fix it.
yeah. So when I say learn or relearn,
You should start over.
Start over. Yes, I said start over. So yes, I said start over. So
Let me keep you honest.
Right. I'm gonna start over. I don't mean start over in the sense of you. What they say, you can't teach a dog.
Old dog, new tricks. Old
Right.
dog. Yeah, there you go. I got you. You know, I got your back. I got your back.
But you can expand their mind of thinking, and in order for you to do that, if I'm saying I'm starting over, I have to start over for the next generation. That's who I'm starting over. So I should clarify that. I'm starting over for the next generation.
I like that.
The reason why I say I'm starting over for the next generation is because what I have found, you have some people that are willing to share the information to educate the culture. And then you have some people that will say, no, it's too hard for me to do that. So you have to have somebody that's in the middle that can work that and say, okay, they got the stories. Can they tell how this happened? You have to be able to educate the next set of children. I'm
going to interject this. My father always has a saying. I don't know where he got it from, but I like
your father. I like your father.
My father good with it. He can tell a good story. We always say, goat don't marry sheep.
Right.
Right.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Let me
They never cross them.
Let me look that up. Go ahead.
They hybriding. There's no hybrid.
You can't bring what it means. What I've come to learn, what it means is that when you are fighting with someone and you're telling someone your head hard, well, you only know their head is hard because your head is hard, but you don't see that your head is hard. You see their hard head,
right?
But you don't see that they're trying to tell you something. You're not trying to hear that.
Exactly.
You want them to hear what you want them to hear. Goat don't marry sheep, right? And I'm listening to what everybody is saying, and I'm like, how do we as a culture? Because as a culture, Trini hard-headed, but Trini know everything. But Trini will tell you that's a Bajan. A Bajan will tell you, nah, don't trust them, Trini tricky.
Right. Everybody's stubborn.
Yeah, everybody got their thing about somebody. Everyone say, oh, Jamaican rough. Jamaican like, nah, we're not rough, we're strong. You know, we all have something. So we all the same goat.
Yes.
And we're all the same sheep.
Gotcha.
So I think it's how do we as a culture recognize that Trini not tricky. Trini just like to lay back in a thing.
Right.
We're not really tricky. We learn the Queen's English.
Right.
And we use the Queen's English the way we need to use the Queen's English.
Right.
Right. Bajans don't feel they're the smartest, but Bajans work out a plan that works for them and they know that it works. So they want to go with that because they know it works. Okay. Right. So how do we culturally get that we are the goat and the sheep? And then now we could have those conversations.
You know my steal. Go ahead, lady. Go ahead.
So in that aspect, I mean, we're gonna have to have a kumbaya, something. We gotta sit down, we gotta talk. We have to, if everybody can get on the same page, and that's the biggest thing. I think if you realize if it can happen one place, why would you feel like you would be exempt anywhere else? We have to get on the same page as long as, yes, we want to put the culture out in a positive way, always uplifting, always adding to and making it great. Well, in order to do that, you also have to realize too, certain things are not for sale, and that has to be across the board. You cannot have that mentality of saying, oh, well, yeah, Yeah, that's like I want to expose someone to come and say, hey, you want to enjoy Carnival, let me educate you. It's not about just costumes. It's not about naked girls dancing around. It's not. No.
It's not?
It's no.
No, Sean.
No, it's not. I'm
Stop playing before they all. I get the text messages and stuff.
Yes.
Let me stop playing.
That's a subject.
Telling you,
That's another
Sean
topic.
is trouble.
That is another question. There's a whole nother segment. So
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what I feel about that is just like, no, we have to do better. If I'm inviting my friend, I educate her. I give her the back history. I show her things. And I said, this is how it started. This is what happened. This is why. Like, I literally, before I even knew I was doing anything with Carnival, I studied it. I dug up all the information I could find. I put a presentation on and I talked about it, and I talked about the value and what it meant and everything and how it lines up. So I'm expecting you to, when you invite your friend, tell them. Don't have them have that connotation that, oh, that's how y'all get on. You're gyrating and you got half your clothes on, and no, it's not all about that. Mm-hmm. So it's the connotation that people, the perception is already there because of what they see. But if you give them more bread,
context,
and fill them up with all the things that they need,
mm-hmm.
the right things, now you're not going down there and saying, okay, I went to Trinidad and I did this and someone punched me in my face. So, right.
That will happen.
Right. So now,
the women don't play that.
This is not the same thing. I really need you to pay. And even within 50 states, either globally, I need to have the same conversation. What you think you can do one place, you cannot do the other.
You can't do the other.
Yes, you have to.
Remember, wine is just the wine.
Exactly. Not. Well, I'm going to stuck with her forever. But like, no, because she's different. She needs a partner, not you. So
I got you.
That's my take on that.
That's your spill?
Yes.
I forgot the question. Wait a minute. I like Shar. I got you, but I'm gonna need Natasha to repeat that question for me.
So the summation of it is basically, how do we amongst us? You're the one Caribbean theme, right? How do we amongst us get rid of the stereotypes amongst us so that we now come together to actually say, hey, yeah, this is what we're doing.
Okay. So I agree with everything Charlotte's saying. There's no but. I got you. There's no but. There's a but. I agree with everything you said. I want to add on to it that, again, we have to, I'm in agreement. We have to teach each other. But at the same time, like, we can use our voices that we have, and I say it again, from anybody, I'll random name, from the back to basics to just
I'm reading it. Too much judgment, not enough education.
Yeah, I see it. I didn't know we had comments to the joint. I was like,
oh, nice.
That sounded.
That was my friend.
Everyone in the audience, just want you to know, I haven't been ignoring you, but this is this new platform for you, girl. And I just found you. I was like, oh,
that was nice.
You see that? I was like, they got comments.
I was like,
right.
what?
So Alicia's right. There's a lot of judgment, and that causes a lot of things. But at the same time, we as a community, again, we have to educate. We have to educate, and we all get caught up in the big picture, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go take it back. I don't think Martin Luther King, he saw the big picture, but he understood that it took little by little to get that big picture done. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Malcolm X. Huh? What you said?
Spoon feeding.
Yes. You understand? You have to, because at the end of the day, I can't be like a fire hose and tell you everything about Fet Finder in one thing. I have to give you little bit by little bit, and I have to present you with something. And if you believe it or not, that's cool. But also, I can't get in my feelings because 10 people believed and this one person didn't, or vice versa. I can't get in because one person believed and 10 people said to go fuck yourself. Well, my bad. I don't know how to.
We're an adult show. Come
Yeah.
on.
So I don't know.
Ain't nothing people ain't say before. Go ahead.
Got you. So I can't. I was like, oh my God. So I'm not gonna get in my feelings because somebody agrees with what I'm saying, and then other 10 people don't really mess with what I'm saying. You have to take that still notion that you have something. He believed in something,
Right.
and he pushed towards it. Malcolm X, Gandhi, you believed in something and you pushed towards it, and that's the mentality we have to have. But a lot of us, and this is no shun to anybody, but a lot of us are scared. They're scared of what people might think. They're scared of how people feel. They're scared of the judgment. It doesn't work like that. You believe in your culture.
Right.
Believe in your culture. Believe in what you believe in, and don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about anybody else, but at the same time, you want to educate and still give that feeling. And if people have questions, everybody's going to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Grab onto the people that you can grab onto and push that, because eventually all these other people will come around. We get so carried away with that one person not accepting what I believe in.
Right.
Who cares about that one person? Only you care about that one person. But these other followers that you have believe in you. Yeah. Believe in the culture. They want to learn more about it. So gravitate to those and go for it, because we miss the product of we're missing things that we want to get everybody at one time. We can't get everybody at one time. There's millions and millions of people in this world that we're not gonna. It's impossible. Yeah. But that one person, that two person, change don't happen overnight. We have to remember that this is not a race. This is a marathon. Oh, so right now we're at that we're on the first leg of that marathon, because it's a generational thing, like the Black Lives Matter movement. It's not a race. They took some time to get to where they're at. They took over 20 years to even get to that place of where they're at now, because we see it, we let it, and we're trying to grow it. Now, all right, let's jump on it. Let's support it. But now we have to support each other. But also we have that mindset that it's like we'll have something and quick we forget about it. And but the news does it intentionally.
Yes.
The news does it intentionally, but now we have to stay focused, and we have a problem staying focused. We get distracted so easy. It's like squirrel. Oh my God, there's something else. Like, it's real.
First of all, Sean, the fact that you coming on my show and talking about me, I don't like that.
Oh my God.
On that note, I'm going to say thank you to my guests. Man talking about IC thing and it's be like squirrel. You need to stop under this. That's not your business. No. No, guys, I want to say thank you so much for coming on, sharing your knowledge and sharing, your passion and your love for the culture. Tell people where they can find you, what they can expect from you. You got a couple seconds there. Go ahead and drop on that.
I'm gonna take this one first because go ahead.
Promoter. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys can follow me on Chicago Caribbean Carnival. That's IG, Facebook, and then actually Instagram is going to be Chicago Carib Carnival. And then Twitter is Caribbean Carnival. And we have an event coming up for Fetland August 21st. Mm-hmm. And that is for our Carnival Day, because we will resume in-person Carnival 2022. So look out for that. And feel free to follow us. We got pageants coming up. We got in-person Carnival. We'll be doing more community events, so look out for that. And I enjoy being on this. You guys can call me back. I'll do it again. I had fun.
Love having you. Love
Thank you so
having you.
much.
Ooh, where you selling your tickets at?
So my tickets on Fat Finders.
Shameless segue plug.
Right.
Tell us where can we find you?
Right. Each one, teach one. Right.
Yeah, right.
One,
That's
one
the little
Caribbean.
thing that we
Okay.
need.
One Caribbean.
One Caribbean. All right. Oh, is my turn?
Yes, it's
Yes.
your turn.
All right. So you can find us on Fet Finders at Fet Finders on all platforms. We didn't do it like Charlotte did. Everything is on. If you put at Fet Finders, we on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow my personal page, Sean _ GEE _ on Instagram. We'll comment. We are easy to reply if you want to buy your tickets to anything, or if you're a promoter and you want to sell your tickets and keep our money within the community. Go to www.tickets.fetfinders.com. If you want to gain more knowledge about the Caribbean and everything, just go to www.fetfinders.com and we got you. All right, thanks for having me. This was a blast. I can't wait to come back.
Right. I had balls. This is
Well,
great.
I must say, I definitely loved you guys. Loved having you guys. For everyone out in the audience, thank you so much for joining. You know, having conversations about culture can sometimes be really daunting. It can be stuffy. It can be scary. It can be a whole lot of things, right? But it's a conversation that needs to be had. And if we don't have these conversations now, then we may have a situation similar to Juve that doesn't turn out well with someone who respects and understands that culture is important to everyone because everyone brings something to the culture. And with that being said, there is a quote by an artist that I love. I don't have it in front of me. But, no, one of my favorite. One day I'm gonna get myself together. But
What you want to teach with?
exactly. But I will say this: that where we are and what we need to do for each other is beyond just each one teach one. Always share the love.
Yes.
Yes.
Always, regardless of whether or not you agree with that person, whether or not you think that person is right, wrong, left, like it doesn't matter. Just share the love.
In the
Because
culture.
when we share love for in each other as human beings, we can then start to have conversations about the things that make us unique, not different. Because we all want the same thing. We all want love of family and friends. We all want to be held at some point in time in our lives, and we all want to celebrate. So with that, I say thank you, everyone, for being a part of this. Thank you to my team. Thank you for everyone for sharing this message. I look forward to having Charlotte and Sean and Michael. If you guys haven't already, check out Pure Vibes Radio. The man was driving. We know the signal dropped. Who knows? But look for Pure Vibes Radio online. You can find me on Instagram at That Damn Natasha. That's my personal. That's why it's there. I don't change. It's the same across any platform. But you can also find this network, Delirium TV, on Instagram at deliriumfet.tv. You can also find us at Delirium Fet on Instagram. And go to the website, www.deliriumfet.com. We are here. We're here for the culture. This is the first of many. Look out for the other programming that we have coming this fall. You know, it's going to be a well-rounded program, and Miami is coming up.
Yes.
If Miami, now just letting you know, Miami put the feeler out there. Miami saying yes, but you know, New York may drop a thing on you, so don't be surprised. Just don't be
I'm
surprised.
not even going to talk about New York.
We're not. That's a whole other show.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I loved having you. Until the next time, peace out.
Blessings. Thank you.